Let's go ahead and get started with your practice today. So find a comfortable spot on your mat, maybe lying on your back with your legs out, knees bent if that's more comfortable. Let's just try to forget about everything else that's going on. Trying to get in the present moment, so we'll just begin to focus on our breath, a bit of pranayama here to start your practice. So just begin to focus on your breathing, conscious of your breath, your inhale and exhale. Hands on the stomach, chest to feel it rise and fall. If that helps to focus on your breath. And you can begin to count the breath if this is helpful to focus on your breathing. Count the inhale. Count the exhale. And you can begin to match your inhale with your exhale. Equal ratio breathing. You can also practice Ujjayi breathing, hearing yourself breathe. So as when you exhale, you're trying to fog a mirror in front of you. Inhaling, fogging a mirror in the back of your throat. And if you're feeling any tension today, think about letting go of that tension with every exhale, just letting it go, letting it exit your body with that exhale. So remember throughout your practice today, remember to let go of any expectations. Just let those expectations go. Always let go of judgment and, of course, competition. There's no competition for your practice today. So whenever you're ready, just go ahead and bring your knees to your chest. You can holding on to the knees if you like or not. It's up to you. You can continue to focus on the breath. Don't forget about that breath. And then just how about a little circle of the knees in one direction? You can continue to focus on the breath, just circling the knees, one direction. Start with small circles. You can gradually make bigger and bigger circles if you'd like. And then whenever you're ready, just slowly just reverse direction. So let's just go ahead and circle the knees in the other direction. You can go back to small circles with the knees. And slowly start to make bigger and bigger circles if you'd like. Let's go ahead and bring those knees back to center. Again, holding on to the knees or not, it's up to you. And then how about a little rock side to side, slow rock side to side. You can slowly just rock more and more to the side as you go, if you'd like. And you can rock that whole body side to side. Or maybe keep your back flat on the mat and just let your knees go side to side. So that's something else you can try. You can go more and more towards the floor if you'd like. Good, just bring those knees back to center. And let's go ahead and just grab the knees behind, or grab underneath the knees, sorry, the backs of the thighs, underneath the knees, just pulling the knees a bit more to the chest here. And if you'd like to bring your head up, chin to your chest, just kind of curling up into a ball here. I like to just warm up my neck a little bit by turning my head side to side, nice and slow. You could do something like that. Good, releasing the head back to the mat, release the feet to the floor, knees bent though, keep those knees bent. Let's go ahead, hands by your sides, palms down. Again, push the low back flat to the mat. We want to push the low back flat to the mat, tilting the pelvis here. And then we'll just go ahead and lift those hips up, bridge pose. First bridge pose, we're not too concerned how high the hips are at this point, just whatever's comfortable. Again, continue to focus on the breath, making sure the knees pointed straight ahead, feet straight ahead, feet underneath those knees. Good, let's slowly just, on your next exhale, you're just going to roll the back down, bringing the hips back down to the mat, but one vertebrae at a time, upper back, mid back, low back, and then the hips come back down. Let's go ahead and bring those knees to the chest again. Again, if you want the head up too, you can. It's up to you. Good, move the head side to side if that helps you, your neck. You can move the head around if you need to. You can even keep your head on the mat and move it back and forth if that's better for you. Again, whatever works for you here. Good, let's go ahead and release the head back to the mat. Release those knees. Again, feet to the floor, knees bent, hands to your sides, palms down. Push the low back flat. Let's lift those hips. Bridge pose here. So let's see if we can lift up those hips a little bit higher. And then let's focus on lifting the chest, lifting the heart here. Squeeze the shoulder blades together in your back to try to lift the chest here. Lift. Good. You can also think about squeezing the glutes here if you'd like. You want to clasp your hands underneath you if you'd like to do something like that. Or I like to bend my elbows and push the backs of my arms to get my hips up a little higher. And then this is something you could add to bridge pose, is to lift your heels. So if you want to lift your heels, you could do something like that now. It's going to involve your calves now. Totally your choice if you want to try something like that. And then let's just move with our breath. So if you have your hands underneath your hips, just put them off to the sides. Let's just, on your next exhale, you're just going to lower your hips back down, lower the heels if you have them up. Let's bring those knees to the chest on the inhale. Head up too if you want. Exhale, releasing the knees and head back to the mat. And then inhale, push the low back flat first. Inhale those hips up. If you want to lift the heels too, you can do something like that. Every time you come up into bridge pose. Exhale, lowering those hips, rolling the back down. Inhaling, knees to chest. Exhale, release the knees and head. And inhale, lift the hips. Again, heels are an option too as well. Lift those heels if you want. And then just go ahead and move with your own breath here. Good. How about the next time you come up into bridge pose? Let's just hold it there now. We'll hold bridge. Good. Try to lift up those hips maybe a little bit higher this time. Lift the chest. Don't forget about lift the heart, lift the chest. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Try to open up the chest and shoulders. Again, hands underneath you if you want. Bend the elbows, whatever works. And then we can lift those heels too if you'd like. Something you can add if you want. Good. Then whenever you're ready, on your next exhale, let's lower those hips back down, lower the heels, and then arms will come up overhead. And then we're just going to inhale those hips back up, and then arms come back to your sides. Again, you can lift the heels too if you want. Exhale back down, arms up overhead. Inhale back up, arms back to your sides. Again, you can lift the heels. Exhale. Hips back down, arms up overhead. Inhale, hips back up, arms back to your sides. And you can do whatever feels comfortable for you. Don't worry about when you're breathing, inhaling, exhaling, when the hips going up, arms going up overhead. Whatever feels comfortable for you, just move with your breath. And maybe you just want to do your arms. Keep the hips down. Maybe you just want to do your hips, if you'd like. Or maybe you like to lift your heels, work the calves a little bit, just leave your hips up, and maybe you want to just do some calf raises here in bridge pose. It's up to you. And whenever you had enough, just go back, hips back down to the mat. Just go ahead and bring your knees to your chest. Again, head up too if you want, chin to your chest if you'd like. Taking a deep breath or two. And then we'll just get into the core exercises here. So we got our core all warmed up with doing all the bridge and movement with the bridge. So just from here, we're just going to release the knees, but keep the knees up. Hands go behind the head. And then we're just going to go ahead and crunch up into a ball. So let's bring our hips up and our head together. Just exhaling up, inhaling back down. Exhale up, inhale back down. So again, the second half of the semester, I like to show you more things you can do. You can always extend your legs out and then crunch up into a ball. Do something like that. You can even extend your arms all the way out and then crunch up into a ball. Or this one's more challenging, just bringing your feet and your hands up together. Again, do what feels good for you. Just going with your breath, exhaling up, inhaling back down. You can always continue with that. Rest at any time, right? Just go back on your mat, take a breath or two, rest any time. If you want to focus on just the lower abs, you can rest your head now. Just focus on lifting your hips up off the mat, right? Hands by your sides. Try to lift the hips up off the mat. Try not to swing though. Try not to swing. Try to go with your breath. Exhale up. Inhale back down. Exhale up. Inhale back down. If you push a lot with your hands by your sides, just put them by your head. That way you won't use your hands. But maybe you need some support for the low back. You could sit on those hands. Sometimes that's more comfortable, easier on the low back. You can extend your legs out, bend the knees, and then lift the hips. Or maybe you want to do more of a leg raise, right? A leg raise. Try to lift the hips too as well at the end. So try not to go to here, see if you can lift those hips too as well. Again, exhale. As you come up, inhaling back down, moving with your breath. Rest at any time. Putting the feet on the mat, knees bent. Take a breath whenever you'd like. And then if you'd like to emphasize the upper abs, just go ahead and feet on the mat. Do like a crunch here. Arms can go across the chest. Hands behind the ears, just to support the head if you need it. Tuck the chin in, shouldn't feel it in your neck. Support the head with the hands. Exhale up, inhale back down. Push the low back flat into the mat as you come up. Push that low back, help you contract those abs. Want to add more? Go ahead, feet up. Exhale up, inhale back down. And some people put their hands up. You can do something like that if you'd like. Put your hands out. Just moving with your breath. Maybe pause, feel those abdominal muscles contract before you go back down. Again, rest whenever you'd like. We're here, we'll add a twist. So opposite elbow to opposite knee, exhaling up, inhaling back down. If you want, you can kick your other leg down if you like. Just moving with your breath. If you want to keep the legs straight, you could do something like scissor the legs, I call it. Could do something like that. A little more challenging. But again, the second half of the semester, I like to try to show you more challenging things if you want to try it. Because we're progressing, I want to try to do a little bit more if you can, or if you want. Rest whenever you want. Let's try one more. Maybe go back to that crunching up into a ball again. That's always a good one. Or, you know, if you have your own abdominal exercise, core exercise you like to do, feel free to do it. Just go with your own breath, though. But feel free to do that if you like. And then when you've had enough, let's go ahead, back up into bridge pose. Stretching out those abdominal muscles here, those abs. And maybe you want, take your hands underneath your hips just to push your hips up a little higher. Feel a good stretch in those abs, what you've been working. And again, I like to show you some more poses. Here's one. Really need that low back flexibility in your low back to do this one. Do it if you'd like. I'm not always the best one to try it. I'm going to try it here. I don't do it a lot because my low back flexibility is not the best. So what you do is you take your hands, put them by your shoulders, fingers towards your shoulders here, and then you're going to push up with those hips. Wheel pose, this is called. That's about as long as I want to do it because I feel that in my low back. I'm just going to bring my knees to my chest after doing that one. But usually what I do is I show somebody else in class demonstrates that wheel pose that has that low back flexibility. So I'm not sure how that looks, but it's called wheel. It's like upside down bow. Bow pose, if you remember, is on your stomach, bring your knees behind you. This is kind of upside down bow pose. Dhanurasana is bow. Urdhva, upside down or upward. Upward bow is Urdhva. Dhanurasana is wheel pose. So I'm just going to go back into child's pose. Again, I'd like to show you more poses if you'd like to try. Here's one that I like. It's a one-legged bridge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my one leg up off the mat. I'm going to put it up, straight up, or if you want, you can cross your leg. So I'm going to cross my leg onto my other thigh, here, my ankle by my thigh, above my knee, here like that, or like this, hands by your side. And then you can hold this, or you can move with your breath, exhale down, inhale back up, exhale down, inhale back up, exhale down, inhale back up. Again, if you want to do it this way, you can. Or you can hold. Ooh, if you really want to challenge yourself here, you can raise that heel too as well. Okay, so if you want to here, and then raise the heel too as well as you come up, you can. Or maybe hold it and raise the heel and just do some heel raises. Let's not forget about the other leg. You could try the other leg whenever you'd like. Again, cross the leg, leg straight up. We can hold this if you'd like. It's a good one for your hamstring, the back of your thigh, and your glute here. And then if you raise your heel, you're going to get your calf.
Again, do that for as long as you like. Good. Whenever you feel like you've had enough of those, just go ahead, knees to the chest. The great thing about videos, you can always pause, do more of that if you want. It's up to you. And then let's just rock forward and back. Right up into boat pose. Right, so we're going to try to come right into boat pose. Good. I like to turn and face the class here, face the video. Oh, you can see the bottoms of my feet now. So remember, you can always extend those legs out. I'm going to go this way. I don't like to see the bottoms of my feet. So here, you can bend those knees, grab the backs of the thighs, lower leg parallel to the floor, stay here. You can extend the legs out, take the arms off. Remember, hands can always go back if you need to keep the knees bent here. Out to the side. Just try to get your balance here. So boat pose. Come back, rest whenever you want. And then row the boat. I call this row the boat. Inhale in, exhale out. Inhale in, exhale out. Inhale in, exhale out. Inhale in, exhale out. So again, then I call this row the boat, hold the boat, or here's another one, rock the boat. So you kind of turn to the side, rock the boat, rock the boat. Hands are apart here like this, but if you want to bring the hands together, bend the elbows, bend your knees, maybe even put your foot on the floor and just do it like that is fine too as well, whichever you'd like to do. Rock the boat. Hold the boat. Whenever you're done, just dock the boat, okay? Take a breath or two. Again, you can always do more of that. Pause it. Do more if you'd like. Let's go ahead onto our hands and knees. Remember, those hands are underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Spread those fingers nice and wide, or go to the fist if that's easier on your wrists. And into cat-cow. So big exhale, push the back up, chin towards your chest, big exhale. Think about pulling the belly button in towards that spine, big exhale, cat pose. And then we're going to inhale, we'll sway the back into cow. Again, gaze forward on your mat or look all the way up if your neck feels like it. And then just back and forth. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Then inhale, cow. Go with your own breath. Again, I like to kind of push my hips off to the side as I go from cat to cow, up to you. Move the head around, two for the neck. Hold the pose if you want. Again, stay with that one for as long as you like, cat-cow. Great one for the low back here. Loosen up that low back. And then going into spinal balance whenever you'd like, right? Opposite arm and leg coming up. Inhaling up, exhaling down. You can always hold it too if you want. Move with the breath. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up the other side. Exhale down. Or again, you can always hold it. Palm down, palm turned in. You can look up at that hand, look down at the mat, whatever the neck feels like. Point your toe, right? Point the toe, point your heel. Just try to come up and then reach out, reach, reach, reach. Try that other side. Again, reach reach, reach, reach. Point the toe, point the heel. And then move with the breath if you want. Or maybe, you know what, I like cat-cow better, I need more of that. Feel free to do that too as well. And there's something else you could do with the spinal balance is maybe you want to just focus on one side. So I'm just going to stay on one side. I'm bringing my elbow towards my knee and then I reach out. So I'm just going to do a few of those kind of round the back like cat pose if you can. Kind of tucking the chin in towards that chest. Here, exhaling and inhaling. And then we can do the other side. Good. Coming to your hands and knees. Again, I'd like to show you more things here. You can just take the arm out of it, just take one leg at a time. So I'm just going to bring one leg up in the air, bend the knee. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, big exhale, I'm going to bring my chin towards my chest. Big exhale, round the back like cat pose. Inhale, sway the back, and then I'm going to lift my heel. And then I'm going to, you can look all the way up if your neck feels like it, or just gaze forward on your mat. And then just going back and forth. Exhaling, chin to the knee, inhaling, lifting. So there is variations to this one. You can always extend your leg, right? You can extend your leg and lift. Keep the knee bent. Then there's other things you could do. You could bring your leg to the opposite side and then back up. You could do that for a few times if you want. Focusing on those hips. Maybe you want to do knee out to the side. And I've heard this called dog leg, fire hydrant, whatever you want to call it. You can do something like that. Several things you can add here if you want. Maybe you want to rotate the hip around. You can do something like that. And reverse directions. Again, whatever you'd like to do, switch to the other side whenever you'd like. Good, you can extend the leg if you'd like. You can extend the leg, bring it to the opposite side and then back up. Maybe do that for a few times. Or maybe you want to bring it up and then bring the knee in. Bring it back up, bring it off to the side. You can do something like that. Again, maybe the fire hydrants, dog leg, whatever you want to call that one. You can combine all these things here if you want. Whatever you'd like to do here. Maybe a little bit of a rotation of the hip around, making little circles with the knee there, out to the side, reversing direction. Again, can add a lot of different things. Back to child's pose, right? Whenever you feel like you've had enough, just back child's pose. Again, forehead to the mat, child's pose. If you need to Kind of stack the hands if you want, fists, whatever, if that's more comfortable to get the forehead to the mat, whatever works for you. Again, the feet flat on the mat, or if you want to tuck the toes under, if that feels better for you. You can widen the knees too, if that's more comfortable for child's pose. You can always widen the knees there. Good, let's go ahead and come out of child's pose, lying on your stomach on your mat. Forehead straight down, turn your head to the side, whatever's comfortable for you. I'm going to take my hands out to the sides. Palms can be up, or maybe you want your palms down or palms turned facing you. Just taking a breath or two here. And then whenever you're ready, just rising up, locust pose, right? Locust pose. Good, lifting the hands, lifting the torso. Again, if you want to look up for, lift the chin. If it doesn't feel good for the neck, just gaze down onto your mat. Try to extend those legs, point the toes. Or maybe if it's too much to bring the legs up, just lift up the upper body maybe. Good, back down to your mat whenever you're ready. And then just on your next inhale, trying to lift back up. Locust pose. Again, holding that. Then your hands can go out to the sides, maybe out in front of you. Or maybe you want them here to the sides if you want. It's up to you. There's lots of different spots for it. And then we can also move with our breath, right? Exhale down, inhale back up. Exhale down, inhale back up. You can hold it if you want. You can always rest on your mat, right? You can always rest on the mat. Maybe you want to just do that. It's up to you. Let's just try to come back up and hold it one more time whenever you're ready. Make sure we're breathing, right? Don't hold your breath. Make sure you're breathing. Good one to help strengthen the low back. And think about squeezing the glutes too as well. Again, arms out to the sides or out in front will now involve your shoulders too now. Good. Whenever you're ready, just coming back down to your mat, pushing back to child's pose again. Extended child's pose, arms out in front. We're going to move on to the upper body, so just arm through here, stretching out your shoulder here. Turn the head to the side if that's more comfortable for the neck, whatever feels good for you. Roll the wrist around a little bit. Switch to the other arm whenever you're ready. Good. Stand in child's pose for as long as you'd like. Then we're going to come out of child's pose to that kneeling plank, right? Kneeling plank. Engage the core, right? Engage that core. Don't sag the back. Kneeling plank. Down to a kneeling chaturanga. Keep the elbows in. Just try to hover and hold it there. Good. Coming all the way down. Cobra, lifting that torso. I'm trying to lift using my low back. Try not to push with the hands. A low or a high cobra, you'd push with the hands. Okay? Just take some low back flexibility. I stick with low cobra. And then push back child's pose. Just a few of those here. Child's pose is part of that sun salutation, right? Plank, kneeling chaturanga, up to cobra, and back child's pose. Go. Kneeling plank, chaturanga, good. Up to cobra, and back child's pose. Trying to keep those elbows in. Good. You can do this with your own breath. Again, the thing here, you can pause, do more of this, because you can always do a chaturanga back to plank, right? Kneeling plank. Do a little bit of a yoga push-up. Good for upper body strength. You can do a few of these if you'd like. Back child's pose at any time. And again, I like to show you more things here, so let's try a side plank, a kneeling side plank. So I'm going to come out of child's pose to a kneeling plank, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my left side here. All I'm going to do is I'm going to turn, let me scoot forward here. I turn, my knee stays bent, and I turn, my foot comes straight behind me, my left hand's right underneath my shoulder, and then I'm bringing my right arm up. And then lift the hips. So you don't want to sag down here, you'd like to lift the hips, and then the right leg is just straight on the mat. So that's a kneeling plank, and then lift and hold. Good, then I'll come over to the other side, I'll come to the kneeling plank, and then here I'll show it from the other side. So I'm going to go to the right side, so what, my right foot, I just bend that about 90 degrees. My foot comes straight behind me here, and then I'm going to lift my hips, and then I come up, really lift the hips, and lift that arm up. Trying to stack my shoulders, stack my hips. So back to a kneeling plank, down to kneeling chaturanga, up to cobra, and then back to child's pose. Good, so let's try that again. So plank, side plank. So kneeling side plank. So I'm going to go to the left side first. You can go to either side. Again, that foot comes straight behind me. I lift my hips. Stack, and trying to stack my shoulders and also stack my hips here. Really reaching up. Good, coming back to a kneeling plank. Good, I'm going to take a chaturanga back to plank, and then I'm going to go to the right side. Lift those hips, and then back to the kneeling plank. Good, down to chaturanga. Good, up to cobra, and back child's pose. Good, maybe you want to stretch out the shoulders some more, roll the wrists around some more. Again, feel free to pause, try that again some more if you want, or if you want to do more from your knees, feel free. Switch arms. And roll those wrists around. And then whenever you're ready here, hands out in front of you, extended child's pose. Again, spreading the fingers nice and wide, can't emphasize that enough. And then we're going to just push up, downward facing dog. So curl the toes under. Let's start with the knees bent. Heels are up in the air, and then I'm going to push with my hands, right? Really push with those hands. Butt is up in the air, right? Trying to get the back flat. Pushing the weight of my upper body and my hips back towards my feet. So my feet are taking most of the weight here. My head just comes between my upper arms, ears between my upper arms here. So I'm trying to get a nice flat back, really pushing with the hands. And then here, I'll just bicycle those feet, right? Push one heel down, straighten the leg. I'm going to lift that heel, bend the knee, and I'm going to straighten my other leg, pushing that heel. And I'm just going to go ahead back and forth. Just to warm up those calves here in down dog. So that's alternating. You can always push both heels down and then lift both heels. And I like to bend the knees a little bit, and then I push both heels, extend the legs, and then I lift both heels, bend the knees. Again, we're alternating. Good, let's push both heels, downward facing dog. Good, we'll come to a full plank now. You can always drop to your knees if you need to. Full plank, engage the core so you don't want to sag. Good. Kneeling chaturanga. Or no, actually this is a full chaturanga, sorry. Or if you need to do a kneeling one, you can. Full one, hover and hold it. And then cobra or up dog. Tops of your feet are on the mat or curl your toes under. I engage my core, so I don't have a big back bend because I'm engaging my core in upward facing dog and then back to downward facing dog. Good, plank, chaturanga, hover and hold it. Good, up dog or cobra, and then back to down dog. Plank, chaturanga, up dog, and back to down dog. Plank, chaturanga, up dog, and back to down dog. So many things you can do here. Maybe you just want to go plank, back to down dog. I've showed you that one. Plank, back to down dog. Now with this, you could do a couple things here. So maybe what I want to do is I take one leg up in the air. I'm going to come to plank. I bend that knee, just kind of bring it between my arms, and then I go back to a one-legged down dog. You can do that. If you want some variation, bring the knee to the same elbow and then back up. Again, a couple core strength moves. Opposite elbow, so knee to opposite elbow, and then back up. And you can do that as many times as you'd like. Try the other leg. Do that as many times as you want. Maybe you just want to do some leg lifts. Maybe you want to just stay down dog, do some leg lifts. You can do something like that. Rest in child's pose anytime you need to. Or maybe you want to just try some chaturanga back to plank. Maybe it's just a little one. Maybe just a little one. Go back. Down dog. See if you can get a little more. Good. Help to practice with some strength here. Again, whatever you'd like to do here. Again, if you want to do some just leg lifts and down dog, you can do something like that. Maybe you want to go back to your knees and go and do some chaturanga back to plank. Rest child's pose at any time, right? You need to take a break, pause, take a break at any time, right? Because here, we'll show you now a full side plank now, okay? So here we go. So we're up into down dog. So plank, and now full side plank. I'm going to turn to my left side here, hand underneath my shoulder. I'm going to stack my feet, or if you want to stagger the feet, either one. Just try to stack your hips, and then lift those hips in a full side plank. So lifting those hips up, side plank. Now if you want, you can always drop the knee though. You could always do the kneeling one, which we did before. So it's up to you. Good, come to plank. And then try the other side. So again, stack those feet, stagger the feet. Either way to stagger, doesn't matter. Lift the hips, stack those hips. Shoulder or hand underneath the shoulder, lift the hips, side plank. And you can go back and forth. Go back and forth. Or if you want, I like to, little strength move, chaturanga, back to plank, go to the other side. Good, back to child's pose. Whenever you'd like, or if you want to keep going with some upper body stuff, just keep going if you want. Try those side planks some more. I'm going to stop the video here, okay, because this kind of is everything on the mat here. So we'll stop the video, but keep going if you want.